Hi everybody, I'm Christina and I am a furniture flipper, and in today's video I'm using one of my favorite beginner-friendly DIY paints, but I have a little twist for you. I'm going to be using it in a sprayer today, so if you want to see this makeover, just keep watching. If you've been following along for the past couple of weeks, I have already made over the dresser and nightstand that goes with this. It's a very dated piece. It's a piece of Stanley furniture. It's in good shape, but it is like 80% laminate. So using Beyond Paint is gonna be great today because I don't need to sand or prime to get my paint on. The first thing I need to do is modernize this before I even clean it or add any paint. So I'm gonna remove the hardware and I'm gonna cut up this base a little bit, just like I did on the other pieces. Okay, now that I've got the base squared off, I just want to smooth this out a little bit. So I'm just grabbing a sander and using a medium grit sandpaper. This is a 150. When you're prepping a piece to work with Beyond Paint, the best cleaner you can use is Simple Green. It is a degreaser. It comes concentrated like this. I've already mixed it up here. I'm gonna do heavy duty strength. So this is 1 part cleaner, 1 part water. So let's go ahead and get to cleaning. You have been spying this cleaner a lot on my makeovers recently. It's really easy to use. It doesn't have the harsh odors and like the strong chemical smell like those other TSP cleaners or solvents or anything like that. And it works really well. It degreases the piece and it's not gonna leave any residue on here after I rinse it off, so my paint's gonna adhere really well. Cleaning your furniture is definitely the step that you do not want to skip. It is the foundation of having a great makeover, and a great cleaner like Simple Green that's gonna degrease and get all the grime and dirt off is a perfect way to start. Simple Green won't scratch your surface, and it's really great to use around the house too. I love using it on my stove, and it can even help get paint out of your paintbrushes. Now I got all that dirt and grime and grease off. She's nice and clean, but we want to rinse all that residue back before we start painting. So I've just got some clean water and I'm going to wipe it down with a clean cloth. Okay, these hardware holes are a weird size, so I know I have to fill them. I want to fill them pretty quickly and want it to dry quickly, so I'm going to use a wood epoxy. This is a 2-part epoxy. When I mix it up, it'll get really hard really quickly in about 15 minutes. So I'm just going to take this and fill up all the hardware holes. Now that my wood epoxy is dry, I'm gonna take my orbital sander and smooth it out. I'm gonna start with a 150 and then make it even smoother with a 220. Okay, we're finally ready to paint after all that prep. If you are not new to my channel, you will definitely recognize this all-in-one Beyond Paint. One of my most popular makeovers on my channel was done with this, and I love it because it's so beginner friendly for people who have never painted anything before. You normally have seen me put it on with a roller and a chip brush, but I wanted to put myself to the test today and try to spray this. You guys know I've been getting really comfortable with my Wagner sprayer and I love it a lot, and I've seen people spray it, so I am intrigued. So we're gonna get this in my sprayer and spray it on my piece. So I'm using the detail nozzle on my Flexio 3500. This is the one I'm most comfortable spraying with. It's great for furniture and cabinets. The thing about Beyond Paint is you do not need to thin it out. And it's really, really thick. It's almost like pudding. You don't have to mix it up. It doesn't separate like other paints. It's really beyond any other paint that I use on my channel. It's just totally different. So the rules that you normally see me talking about don't apply with this paint. I'm not priming. This piece is 80% laminate and I'm just gonna go right on with paint. So you can thin this out a little bit if it doesn't come out of your sprayer. Like I said, I've never sprayed it before, so we're gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna put it in without straining it, without adding any water, and we'll see how the sprayer tackles it. You guys know I'm a sucker for black too, and I figured I need to try Beyond Paint's black, so I'm trying their color Licorice today. Okay, so on this gun, I have a couple adjustable settings. I can adjust my material flow right here. So I'm gonna have that pretty open right now to start because of how thick the paint is. And then my air power, I'm really gonna play around with because I know this is thicker. When I spray my chalk style paints, I usually spray them at a 5, but that is really thinned out and this isn't thinned out at all. So I'm probably gonna start at the 5 and then bump it up and see how that goes. But like always, since I'm using a new paint, I'm gonna test out my paint before I take it to my armoire. In case you're wondering why this is laying flat, it's too tall to stand up in my pop-up shelter. Plus, I like laying big pieces like this flat because it just helps the paint level out. And I also have it propped up on some 2x4s so that it's not gonna be sticking to the ground and that we can get all the way underneath it. Okay, that went pretty well. I did the first pass on the top because you're not really gonna see the top of it when it's standing up. And it went on really well, but my gun is jumping a little bit. So this is telling me that the paint's too thick. Now, the instructions do say you can add a little bit of water if your gun is getting tripped up. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of distilled water and thin my paint out a bit. I got so excited about spraying, I forgot I wanted to tape off my drawers. When my drawers sit in flush with my piece like this, I like to spray with them in. It's just a lot easier, but you can kind of sometimes get overspray on the sides and on the inside. So I'm gonna tape that off to protect it, put it back in, and get back to spraying. Okay, that definitely went way faster than rolling, but Beyond Paint is textured, you guys. I'm interested to see how this dries down because it really does have that orange peel effect still. That helps it kind of get in the nicks and dings and helps you get like a better look with a piece that might be a little beat up like this. So let's keep going and see how it goes. Okay, so I probably used about 10 ounces of paint on that first coat. I have a little lid that fits right on here. I'm gonna seal my paint up, and in between coats, I'm gonna clean my little nozzle so that it doesn't get all gunked up. And I wanna show you how easy it is to clean, because everybody's like, I don't wanna use a spray gun because it's gonna take forever to clean. Guess what? It takes about the same amount of time as it does to clean a roller or a brush. So I'm gonna show you how to clean it. It's really easy. All these pieces come apart. So I'm gonna take this off, stick it in the water. This part right here, I usually take off first. This just unscrews. You don't wanna get any water in this air intake. So I'm just gonna set that aside. That one you don't need to wash. And then the tip just comes off like this. Unscrew this. That comes off, where the paint is comes off. This guy comes out, goes in there. And then there's this little ring in here that needs to come off as well. Whoops. That's gonna go right in, and this thing can go in the water as well. So everything just goes right in the soapy water. I have this little scrubby brush, and you can take this and get into all the little details of it and help get the paint out. So once I got everything scrubbed down, I was able to take it inside, and then I just rinse everything with clean water. At that point, you can put it in the faucet because most of the paint is out. And as you can see, all the parts are separate now. So I'm just gonna set these out and let them dry, and they'll be ready to go for my second coat. Okay, this is still drying, but it was pretty dry to the touch, so I was able to lift it up because I'm gonna spray the inside. I'm gonna give this a whole new look on the inside as well. So as this continues to dry, I'm gonna spray the inside. All right, it's late in the day. I'm getting hot, but I want to get the second coat on before tomorrow. It's pretty dry. It's been drying for about 2 hours. You want to allow 2 to 4 hours to dry before your second coat. And we want to hit up the inside of the drawers since we missed that on the first pass. So I'm going to spray the outside of these drawers, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the second coat over the entire piece. Okay, I'm back for day 2. I am really impressed with how this paint has dried down in the sprayer. Now, just to remind you, Beyond Paint does have a little bit of texture to it, and that's to help, smooth out imperfections and have easy application. And this smoothed out way more than it does with a roller. It still has a little bit of texture to it, but I really love the finish. It's like a matte eggshell finish. So today we're just gonna put the final touches on it. I have some cool wallpaper I wanna put on the back inside so that you can have it open and have it look really cute. And then we're gonna add new hardware. And if you remember in the beginning, I have one of these hinges was broken. These are really easy to replace, and I don't even have to replace the plates on here. I'm just replacing the hinges. I already did one, and I'm gonna do the other one. monochromatic look on here. That's why I painted the hinges, and I kind of want the hardware to coordinate as well. So a trick here, instead of using a jet black hardware to get a monochromatic look with black, I really like using cocoa bronze hardware. It blends in, it's just a little bit of difference so that it gives it all a cohesive look. Just to remind you, here is what we started off with, and here is the cabinet after. I really love how this turned out. Spraying Beyond Paint was a lot of fun. It went so much faster, and I do still have a little bit of texture, but it's a lot smoother than when you use a roller. So I would definitely recommend it if you're brave enough to try a sprayer. The one thing I would have done differently, I would have paid a little bit more attention to when I was fixing these doors. I didn't quite smooth them out all the way, and you can see some of my sanding marks. So just be really careful when you're making repairs that you have a really, really nice smooth surface before you add your paint. Thank you guys so much for joining me for today's video. I will be back soon with another project. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next time.